What's up, guys? It's Cam for Investors Underground. This month, Investors Underground is celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Over the last decade, there have been some remarkable achievements within the community, so we've got a lot of cool things planned during the month to mark the occasion. Over the next few videos, you're going to get a full walkthrough of the service from a member's perspective, hear from some of the founding members who have been with us since day one, and you're also going to get an idea of where it all started and how much things have changed over the years. So Nate, let's go back in time 10 years. Tell us how things began.
Well, to answer that question, we really actually need to go back another 5 years or so to when I started trading. I was a young guy who didn't have a lot of money, but I was really interested in the stock market and trading. Essentially, I was looking for like-minded people online, and the internet back then was nothing like what it is now, and there really weren't any quality trading services or blogs, and definitely no solid trading communities. I was seeing more success in my trading, so I was starting to share my experiences online just to see if there was any other like-minded people out there, and see if they were interested in doing what I was doing. The more I traded, the more I blogged, and the more people actually became interested. And this was really the start of Investors Underground. My small trading audience back then, they wanted to hear more. They wanted to know why I took a certain trade, why I was trading certain stocks, what it was that I was looking for in those stocks, and what I was watching the next day. A lot of the other things had to do with, how do you get prepared for the next day? How do you find the stocks that you want to trade the next day? And things like that. So without really knowing it, that was pretty much the start of Investors Underground.
So what did the service look like back then?
Back when we first started, the service was a lot different than what it is today. It was, without a doubt, less organized, which is kind of in line with the trader that I was back then. Looking back, myself and early members were kind of still figuring things out. The trading strategy was less polished back then. The gains definitely less consistent. And overall, obviously, we were much less experienced than we are today. Now, with over a decade of experience, tens of thousands of trades later, things look a little bit different.
Yeah, I'd really have to agree with you on that one. I guess 15 years is the right amount of time to create a viable strategy, test it through different market conditions, develop resources for members, and really fine-tune the Investors Underground service as a whole. In the last couple of years, I've seen a lot of new trading services pop up. I guess that's what sort of happens when crazes like crypto and movies like The Wolf of Wall Street are released. Everyone wants to be a millionaire and thinks that the path is easy. But there's something to be said about experience, not only as a trader, but also experience in running a service. A decade in the biz really means something in that regard. So Nate, the service has come a long way in the last 10 years. Back when you started, did you have any kind of feeling that things would look like they do today?
I knew that we had something special, but I wasn't sure where we were going with it. Most services are buy now, sell now, kind of follow the leader type. And how much did you make? How much did I make? That's just something that's not our focus at Investors Underground. The focus was having the right team working together each day towards a common goal. I think that was one of the key reasons why IU became so successful and remains a top resource for all levels. A strong trading community has a lot of benefits. It's about having numerous eyes, watching what you can't. I'd lose track of all the times I tried to count things that fall off my radar, and then somebody mentions it in the chat room, and it ends up being a major opportunity that I would have missed otherwise. It's about having a support network. It's not always roses. When you're winning, yeah, you need to have the high fives, because you can't go to your normal friends that work a 9 to 5 and say, hey, I just made X amount. But when you're struggling, when you're down, you need somebody there that's going to be able to pick you up, who's been there, done that. And I guess most importantly for newer people, when you don't have those answers, when you have questions, but you can't figure it out yourself, you need somebody that you can kind of ask. And the good part about the community is you don't just get one answer. You get a lot of different answers from a lot of different types of traders. And at the end of the day, it's about trying to determine the type of trader you're going to be. So it's always good to get that. It's an added benefit. What about you, Cam? You've been with us since 2011, so you must have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, that's right, 2011. A little history lesson for those who haven't already heard it. I joined Investors Underground as a paying subscriber back then, really eager to learn how to trade for myself. I'd go through the scans every day, come into the chat room, and also attend almost every webinar, consuming every piece of content that was available to me as a member. I'd watch Nate and some of the other moderators fielding questions from members, and I noticed that there were some similar patterns in the kinds of questions that were being asked all the time. So I started making notes of some of the more commonly asked questions and sat down with Nate and discussed whether he thought it would be beneficial to compile a resource that really answers all of these questions that newer traders seem to have. That was really where Nate and I started working together, creating Textbook Trading, the first course from Investors Underground. After that, we created a follow-up course, Tandem Trader, where we focused a lot more on live trading examples. And since then, I've watched the Investors Underground service and offering and team grow. The Investors Underground team has added a full-time in-house programmer to code out the functionality of the chat room and some of the automated alerts that come through. We've got a full-time designer who makes sure the website is easy to use and running smoothly. And we've got other full-time staff that help members with their questions. We also reached out to some of the best traders in the community to have them help us moderate the chat room and also contribute to our content libraries so that members get a varied perspective of different styles and strategies in trading. So Nate, what made you want to start Investors Underground?
I think one of the main reasons why I started is I just really enjoyed putting it out there, putting charts out there, scanning, sharing ideas, and interacting with the community. It's nice to have interaction with other traders, other people that are doing the same thing as you. There was a necessity for it. This is something that if I didn't run this room, if I didn't create this room, I would be looking for a room like this. Just like a lot of people start on message boards and they're reading different message boards, trying to find the best message board. I would want a live trading resource. And there wasn't anything at the time, and there still isn't anything that is up to par with what we offer. So, like I said, if I didn't create it, I'd be looking for something like this to be part of. And lastly, I think the most obvious reason as to why I started it is it's an additional source of income, doing something that I love. So at the end of the day, I think that should be a goal for all traders, establishing multiple streams of income.
So we've covered how things got started and how Investors Underground has developed since. Where do you see things in the future?
Well, I actually think about this a lot. Something I've noticed over the last 10 years is that as the community grows, it matures. The quality of trading improves across the board. Given that the community is growing every day, I'm really excited about the quality of trading in the future. As long as we continue to focus on developing and providing the best tools for traders, IU will remain the #1 trading community in the world.
I really have to agree with you on that one. We're going to be going over some of the tools and a bunch of the features we've developed in the next video we'll be sending out tomorrow as part of the 10-year anniversary. We'll be putting you in the driver's seat with a guided tour of the IU community from the perspective of a member. So look out for that tomorrow, and also other fun things and giveaways we'll be doing as part of the celebration. That's about it from us today. We'll be catching you tomorrow with a brand new video.